All right, guys, we are going to talk about work-life balance today. And the was it PowerPoint gave me this picture for work-life balance, and I thought it was really appropriate just out the gate because it's not balanced on either side, just out the gate. It's like there's more stones on one. I don't know if that's the work or the life side, but it's really like it's moving the fulcrum. It's not making it equal on both sides. So I thought that was pretty sharp of you there, PowerPoint. So so work-life balance. Work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it will bounce back. The other four balls, family, health, friends, and integrity, are made of glass. If you drop one of these, it will be irrevocably scuffed, nicked, perhaps even shattered. That's Gary Keller, a real estate entrepreneur. I'm a sucker for quotes, guys. There's going to be some more in here.
It's good.
So, importance of work-life balance. It increases your productivity. Yeah, believe it or not, spending more time outside of work will increase your productivity. Deeper relationships, and I think that's deeper relationships, obviously outside of work and in work. If you value the time that you're here and you're less stressed, you're going to be more open and personable with those that you work with. But obviously outside of work, is really the key there. It's going to deepen relationships outside of work. Physical and mental health improvements. If you're stressed all the time, that's a major burden on you, physically and mentally. So that's why work-life balance is important, along with absenteeism is lower. If we, here it's, we're all pretty well dedicated to the cause and getting things done. But as we grow, those that come in, we want to make sure that they maintain that work-life balance, because it's easy for them to feel stressed and missing out on work because of that stress or whatnot. So something to focus on going forward. The difference between successful people and really successful people is really successful people say no to almost everything. Warren Buffett. So we've gone over this one before, learning to say no, but I think it's very important in work-life balance. Now, if you have a piece of paper handy, you can do this now or at a later time, but this is just one of those things that's great for writing things down. Make a cross like that, and then we're going to start with low urgency and high urgency. And this is more about time management and prioritizing, but it definitely plays into work-life balance. And then on the other side, we're going to do high priority and low priority. Basically, you're going to put in the things that are high priority and low urgency. Something like the presentation I have to do next month. That's a priority, but it's not urgent. Next would be something that's high urgency and high priority. Getting a fee agreement signed. You got to get that done quick. That's a priority and it's urgent. You're also going to have some things that are urgent, but not high priority, like catching up with Dan at lunch. If you don't do it now, I mean, lunch is pretty urgent. It's coming, but it's not really a priority. It's something that you could pass on that one, or something you can do anytime, like Dave's showing you his sweet stamp collection. It's a low priority and it's a low urgency.
What?
That's in this specific example. So really what you're going to do there, the high urgency, high priority tasks, time block for these during the week. The low urgency, high priority, schedule these for the future. Feel comfortable saying no to anything else, even when your boss is like, dude, I got this sweet stamp. I really need to see it. So this is more about staying productive, but this is work-life balance. It's not, it's the balance is what we're after. It's not just find all the free time in life. You've got to get the stuff done at work so you can have that work-life balance. So that's why this falls into the category for me on work-life balance, is keep things done at work so you do have the available time. So I'm going to ask you guys, what could you have said no to this week other than checking out Dave's stamp collection? Anything come to mind? I'm going to start calling on people.
Yeah, there was there was a lunch with that Dan was having with a lender that came in town, and I went to it, and I was like, really don't need to be here, right?
Yeah.
And I actually left a little early, but you know, so yeah, I just realized I'm like, I don't need to be at this meeting. So should have said no.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually I did say no to that one because I got invited too, and I was like, I'm gonna drive a long distance,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna gather the same information
Yeah.
that all three of us are.
yeah,
So yeah, that was
definitely was.
yeah.
I was like, why am I?
I like Eli, but
Yeah, he's a great guy.
would like to have lunch with him, but yeah,
I tried to maximize it, but
yeah.
get me money to get.
Anybody? Anybody else have anything they want to share on work-life balance, or on saying no?
No,
No. Oh, that's a no. All right, not a priority. I get it.
or saying no to you.
Yeah, exactly. So balance is not better time management, but better boundary management, and that's Betsy Jacobs.
Hmm.
So, communicate boundaries with clients and colleagues. Set out of office notifications on emails. So, that's obviously if you're going somewhere on a vacation, a trip, definitely do it. But you can set it so it just pings at the end of the day. Hey, I'm out of the office. Let's look at that, so that way you don't sit there thinking like, oh, that email came in, I feel obligated. Leave work hours on your voicemail. I think that's that and could be combined with, I will get back to you in a certain amount of time. That way, you can prompt somebody to, if you leave a message, I will get back to you at this time. Then that way you're not finding that they hang up on the voicemail to send you an email that you don't respond to, and they're calling you again. So, just kind of cut it off at that. Make others aware of upcoming personal time and vacation time. It's, and I think that's twofold, because if you're in the conversation with somebody, you can also deepen a relationship that way and say, hey, I'm not going to be available next week, I'm going to Japan or wherever you're going. And it deepens a relationship by sharing and engaging in conversation. But it also obviously lets them know that boundary that you won't be aware. And then the last one is time block your high priority tasks. When you've got that time blocked, that's the time that you're fighting to keep, and that's the time that you need to set boundaries on when you're inside of work also. So this is going to be, work-life balance. Set your blocks for outside of work, but also set your blocks and boundaries inside of work. So when somebody says, hey, come check out my sweet stamp collection, you can say, no, this is my time to do this activity, or I can't do that right now. So, time block inside just as much as you defend your time outside of work. So combine this with prioritizing tasks and learning to say no. Boundaries should be established for time and tasks also. So, if it's something that's, if somebody's bringing you something and saying, hey, I need you to take care of this file, or I need you to look into this for me, be aware that there's going to be times where you're going to be able to have to say, no, that's not something that, either I should be responsible for, or that it, falls into the realm of what I need to do. And I think we're, as a group, pretty good about, keeping that, from happening. But, again, as we grow, there's going to be times where, if somebody brings something to you and says, hey, can you work up this file and send it off for me? That's time out of your day. You need to defend your time and say, that's not my task. So just be aware of that too. So what boundaries could you easily incorporate into your routine to improve work-life balance? I have a feeling that adding hours worked onto our voicemails would probably be a quick one for all of us. And the email one too, like adding in like, hey, out of the office at this time, but I'll respond. Those were two that I think is pretty quick and easy to implement. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts or suggestions.
Yeah, I'm convicted about this for sure, because I struggle with this, and I'll just be honest. I think I do a lot better job than I used to. I mean, it was a full-fledged workaholic. So So I'm definitely getting better, but man, I got a lot of room to improve. Cause my mind is just going all the time and it's like, what about this? And then I
Yeah.
just start diving in. So, part of me is like, wanting to arrest my phone when I get home. Just put it in a timeout box. I actually have those. Put it in a box that has a timer on it. Can't
Oh,
actually,
Yeah,
doesn't let
my
you.
husband was like, you should get one of those. But,
Seriously.
hey, so what if something happens? You can't open it right.
Yeah.
Maybe break it. Somebody has a phone. Like, but I don't know, because Jill doesn't shoot. But
Those things, they're like, they have a way for you to make them where you can only make like an emergency call. So like say something did happen, then you'd still be able to like make an emergency call too.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that, yeah, you guys can hold me accountable to that.
Or even phones have like the time where you could set apps to turn off.
Yeah, it has like a turn, it has,
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
there is a timer thing on your phone. I didn't have enough time to fiddle around with it, but there is it's called, what do they call it? It's like out of office or something, but there's
Yeah.
some way where you can literally, your phone will shut off.
Yeah, Android has it on focus
Yeah.
modes. It's the Android
It's
version is
focus mode.
yeah, it's easier to set up and use on
Yeah,
Android
yeah.
because Apple's, Apple.
Yeah, focus mode. It's definitely one way for sure. So anyways, that's me.
But yeah, you can use, and I think it's designed for focus at work. Like that's really the
Yeah.
intention. But you could easily flip it around to say, well, just turn off my email after work hours,
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, because it like shuts off notifications and stuff like that. Like you won't get notifications.
Yeah.
Which is part of like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So
We talked about this a while back, but I still think there's some truth to the like removing the email from our like me personally, I think it'd be helpful to remove it from my phone. And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
if it's an emergency, it's more of like a text or call situation. Cause I
Yeah.
know for myself, I'll like get emails and I'll see them all like on the night or even when first thing when I wake up, all the notifications of emails. Sometimes that just gets my mind like really distracted or like, oh man, I gotta get to this. And it's like I still have my morning to like, do my routine, but then it's like I'm thinking about emails or even at night, I'm doing something else and an email comes in. I have more of a temptation to like want to respond to it because I'm like, I feel like this is like urgent at the time, even though it's not, and it can wait usually unless it's like urgent emergency. But then I think that's where the person can text you or call you if it is an emergency. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody ever emails an emergency, I don't think. Nobody ever emails. I mean, they might send an email, but they're gonna call you too.
Yeah, eventually.
Nobody emails and
Eventually.
says like this deal just blew up or this deal's about to blow up.
My arm just got cut.
Yeah, please send help. I'm bleeding out. Yeah, I was typing with one hand. Like this pigeon shows up on your window perch with a note on it. Please send help. I'm dying. Like no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not sending the slowest form of communication.
Yeah.
If it's really critical, you're getting phone calls or texts.
That's true.
That's why I keep email off my. The only time I did set email up on my phone when I was in New York, just because it's convenient and easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can set it up quick and easy and just remove it again.
And then
That's
do
fine.
it. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
So leaning on others is a beautiful act of self-compassion. And I was looking for a self-compassion quote, and I thought that one was like really solid because like you don't think about like and then we'll go into it, but like delegating is like self-compassion. So practice self-compassion, delegate tasks. Like when you are in overloaded or you need help, delegate tasks.
Yep. 100%.
Obviously you got to again respect everybody else's boundaries too, and make sure you're not like your day's not like, hey, Michelle, run the company, I gotta bounce or whatever. So be respectful to each other. So but yeah, delegate tasks is self-compassion. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Reward yourself. This is take the time, give yourself the pat on the back. you know, acknowledge a job well done, and you know, treat yourself to, you know, whatever it is.
Slice of cake.
Slice of cake. I was gonna say Reese's Cups. Lana, Mackie, what would you reward yourself with?
I'm an ice cream after a job well done kind of
Nice.
person.
Ice cream, Mackie?
So, that's a tough one. Probably some sort of chocolate.
Chocolate, okay.
Ooh,
Good deal.
chocolate.
Take time for hobbies. I think this is a, you know, important one. You know, take and really what it comes down to is just time for yourself, you know, work-life balance. Obviously it's work and life being yourself and your friends and your family. So take time for yourself, find hobbies. If you don't have one, I can give you recommendations. I have like way too many. I dabble in hobbies all the time.
Build
So
cars.
yeah, cars, photography, anything that catches my interest for a minute. But you know, take time for your hobbies. Plan trips or events. This, and I don't know how true the story is. I guess it's an anecdote, but I remember hearing this one where it was a guy who would plan a trip, and the week before the trip, he would cancel it and plan it for another, you know, 2 months out, because waiting in the expectation of the trip was almost just as fun as going on the trip itself. You know, you can sit there and like, there's something to be said, like, you know, if you have something in the future to look forward to, like the thought of like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know, next week, and it doesn't have to be like the trip to Hawaii, you know, it could be like, oh yeah, next week I'm gonna drive up north and, you know, go look at the snow or whatever. Or, you know, drive to California and go to the beach if you've got more time. It doesn't have to be an extravagant trip, or, you know, an event, you know, oh, 3 weeks time I get to go out to dinner with my friends. Plan them out far. I know it sounds goofy, but it gives you something more to look forward
Yeah.
to. So, and better time management because you know what's on your calendar.
Yeah.
So self-compassion can look different for everyone. Make sure you're setting time aside to recharge your own battery. So that could be a quiet time reading your favorite book, or a night of karaoke in front of a room full of friends and strangers. You know, it's to each their own. I'm not gonna do karaoke. Taking time for yourself should not be thought of a selfish act. And you know, that's something that, you know, as we have, you know, some of us new starting families, some growing families, you know, there's going to be those times where your significant others, you know, sitting there needing time and whatnot. But you know, don't feel bad about taking time for yourself. You know, that's something that's not selfish. It's not selfish to, you know, shut yourself away and read a book, or, you know, sing karaoke to your significant other as they
Yeah.
cry at your singing
Yes.
skills.
They would cry at my singing.
So anybody want to share how they recharge their batteries and unwind it? Mine's cars. We all know that. Yeah. Cars and photography.
Mine
Yeah.
is video games. I love playing video games, so I get everyone.
Oh yeah, we talked about
Oh,
this.
that's right.
What's your favorite
Yeah, what a
game?
game.
Oh, this is so embarrassing. I play a lot of Fortnite right now,
Fortnite.
Yes.
but I play a lot of Rainbow Six as well. So
Brain 6?
Rainbow Six.
Oh, Rainbow.
yeah.
You're an FPS fan.
Yes.
That's cool.
FPS died for me after Counter-Strike, Lana. It's probably before your time.
I've no
Wait,
idea.
what?
FPS's died for me after Counter-Strike.
Oh, I don't know that
before your
one.
time. Yeah, man, I'm old.
It was an
You speak gibberish.
How about you, Mackie?
Yeah, I would say I've kind of been discovering this more and more just because we've talked a lot about like rest in like the Sunday school I go to, and just like taking time to rest and recharge. And I feel like my rest is like going on walks outside. Like I just really, really enjoy that. It re-energizes me. It just kind of gives me like a brain break, and just whether it's with friends or just by myself, I just really enjoy that.
That's good.
I would say a big one for me is just having like good connection time with friends. So like a lot of that often is like going out to dinner or you know, going and visiting a friend at her house or whatever. That's always very filling for me because I love to just be in conversation and have that connection. So that's refreshing.
Cool. It's awesome.
What about you, Dave? And don't say collecting stamps.
Yeah, stamps. Yeah, I would say, you know, date nights with the wife is always fun. And then hiking is something I love to hike, love to hike. And you know, say getting massage is always nice, sure.
Yeah.
And biking, love to bike too. So just going out on a bike ride, just kind of relaxing. So it's fun to go with kids too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So the ability to be present in the moment is a major component of mental wellness. It's Maslow. So be present with friends and family. Put away the laptop. Remove the email from your phone. I'm gonna advocate for that one all the time.
I was gonna say.
Silence your phone. Look for the moments. So this is really about, you know, when you recharge your batteries, and sometimes that's, you know, personal alone time, sometimes it is with your friends and your family, but when you are with friends and family, be with your friends and family. You know, because that's, you know, that's you can't regain those moments basically. That's something where if you're with your friends and family, but you're still in work mode, and trying to send out that last email, or sitting there going like, as you're typing away on your laptop,
Yeah.
you're not really with your friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, and so it takes sacrifices, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things I try to do on my side is I look for the moments like where, you know, part of it is I can't say, you know, hey Aurora, we're gonna hang out right now, because she's got, you know, house stuff to do. She always cooks dinner, deals with the kids. I've now tasked her with the puppy to take care of, so she appreciates me for that. So, you know, there's more on her plate, and I have to recognize that. So, you know, I look for the moments where it's like, okay, oh, she's not, you know, doing anything. Let's go, you know, let's spend some time together. And it doesn't have to be like a planned event. You know, it could just be like, oh, you know, sitting outside, or you know, like, oh, you know, distract for a moment, you know, go over and spend some time or whatnot. So I think that's important, is to look for, you know, to find that balance, is to look for the opportunity with your friends or family or significant other. You know, don't try and, you know, obviously some of that stuff can be scheduled, you know, like a movie night or a dinner and things like that, but sometimes it's just like the 5-10 minutes in between that really, like, those add up. Just looking for those opportunities to connect.
Yeah.
So this is where your high priorities get set aside and friends and families' urgencies take center. So, you know, when we look at our high priorities, you know, obviously that's what we want to be doing during the day, you know, work tasks, or, you know, your high priorities can also be your hobbies and your alone time and whatever you want to focus on. But the things that our friends and family come to us may not sound even like a priority. It's just an urgency, and that's what's important, because that is their priority essentially at that point. You know, their urgencies are their priorities, because we make our priorities our urgencies. So that's the only way that, you know, if we see their urgency, if it's, you know, hey, you know, with my kids, hey dad, come look at this, come do this, like, okay, well, that is their priority. Might not be mine to look and see what they've, you know, either, like, you know, done on a video game, or, you know, some silly trick they found the dog will do, you know. So, but that is their priority, and taking time for that is important. Watching a beautiful sunset with your spouse can't be planned. Your child's school play cannot be rescheduled, and your friend's birthday dinner can't always be on your side of town. So, you know, this stuff, it takes sacrifice, you know, and it takes looking for the opportunity. Yes, it might take a drive across town to go to dinner. That's all right. So just look for that stuff. So There are time sacrifices to be made with work-life balance and friends and family. That's why it's important to invest your time into the right people. Spend your time with people who fill your cup and see value in your time. So don't look for the people that see the value in in what you bring, as far as like a work relationship or whatnot. That is important, but they see the value in the time that you're spending with them. They're not looking for anything beyond that. So I think that's important. And I still fill your cup for my kids' school. They call them cup fillers when they're good
Cup
kids.
fillers.
So how could you be more present with friends and family?
I am not good with my phone and just my husband. It's only my husband. For whatever reason, I'm like, I can do it now. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so I really felt convicted that I could put the phone down, put the laptop away, be super present with him.
Yeah, so that one's a fight for me too, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, because it's like your spouse of all people knows what you're doing. Like they know like how like maybe you're stressed out about something or you gotta get this done or whatever. So then you almost feel like you're one person and you're like, yeah, I gotta get this done. I'll be there in just a second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jill and I talked about this a couple weeks ago at dinner. There's like 3 ways you do life together. It's like back to back, which is not good. Shoulder to shoulder, which is pretty normal. Most of the time you're just getting stuff done, and you can't get away with that. But then there's face to face, like where you're connecting intimately, just engaging with your spouse. And we just do most of our life is just shoulder to shoulder. We're just getting stuff done. We're both very busy. She's on boards, I'm on, so I said, I think I need to do a better job. Like when the kids go down, we still part ways and like, oh, I got to get this done and I got to get this done. And so, I bought a book and I sent you guys the copy of it. This like parenting.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, let's just do like 5 minutes of reading and then talking 5 minutes, just to start like getting in the habit of it. And so that's kind of that's my attempt to try to move in that direction with very busy lives, so that I could be more present at home. So you guys can hold me accountable to that.
Yeah.
So, baby steps to the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like it's not like finding the chunks of time. It's like it can sometimes be like the small moments and whatnot. I always figure out that when if Aurora takes the dog outside, normally like at some point we'll go outside, or like she'll go outside at some point.
Yeah.
If Aurora takes the dog out to go to the bathroom, it's like, well, I better go out there with her, because I can sit and spend 5-10 minutes when you sit there and talk and hang out. And sometimes it turns in like 15-20 minutes, because it's like once you're both away from the task, and it's all like you enjoy each other's company, you just got to find the way to start it, and it just kind of goes, and then eventually the kids are like, oh my gosh, mom and dad are outside, maybe we could turn off the video game for a minute and go outside too. Yeah. So
what about you gals?
For me, I think it's just remembering that everything can wait, like everything else can wait. I just have such ADHD brain. I'm just like, oh my gosh, there are all these things running through my mind all the time, and it's so easy for me to get distracted and run off with something else. And a lot of times it's so bad, because Jacob will tell me like, I was just talking to you and you said I'll be right back, and then you didn't come back because I forget.
Where'd you go?
It's like I've been waiting for 4 hours.
So bad, but just really thinking about it, like trying to remember like nothing is going anywhere. Like it's okay to just take a minute, and I can wait to do that until I'm done with the little moments we're having.
Yeah, that's good. Cool. What about you, Mackie Vanderveen?
Kind of two things. I would say one of them, like I was just even thinking about this morning. You know, I had a lot of things to do, like leaving work yesterday. I was like, oh man, like I have all these things to do. And my intention was to like kind of come back last night and work on some of it. So in the morning it'd be like more caught up. But then I didn't, which I'm glad I didn't, because then I came in this morning more with a refreshed mind. And so like I felt like I was more present in what I was doing last night with like family and friends. And then like I came in this morning with work more of a refreshed mind. So just reminding myself of like it's okay to just like not work on it, even if I feel behind, but to be present with the people. Like my sister came into town last night and I spent more time just like talking with her versus like going to my computer and working. And then the other thing that has been super like it just kind of keeps coming up, and I think God's been prompting it on my heart is like, so with Kaden and I, you know, we're both in a very busy season of life, just with work and wedding planning and whatnot. And so in my head, it's like, oh, I'm not, you know, this is just a seasonal thing. Like, you know, we'll spend a lot more intentional time together once we're married. But like some friends and then also our pastor kind of reminded us like, you want to make that a habit now. Like, don't wait, like make it a habit to have like intentional time, whether that's, you know, going on a walk one afternoon or having like a coffee date or whatever. Just taking intentional time to spend with your significant other is really important, because it's gonna go into our married life. And so why not start that now? And in my head, I think I've just been thinking like, I, you know, gotta go. Like we don't really have time right now, but we will have time. But when you think about it, yeah, if you don't set a habit or you don't set this routine now, you're not really nothing's gonna change if you don't make it happen now. So
Yeah,
good.
true.
It's good.
Starting out on the right foot.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Well, Tom.
And one last
Oh, one
wrapping
last
up.
thing.
No, just wrapping it up. So, ways to improve work-life balance: learning to say no,
Mhm.
communicate boundaries with clients and colleagues, practicing self-compassion, be present with friends and family. The end.
Good job.
I had to